everyone, Josh here with Texas, bringing guys and gals some more cat fantasy, and today we're going to be looking at the top reroll targets based on the PTR and SEA version of the game, which will hopefully be the same thing in global. If it is not, if the reroll targets are different or if there's any major changes or anything like that, I will update this video, so definitely stay tuned for that. Hopefully we don't have to do that. We'll see. Based on all the information that we have right now, nothing should change, at least nothing major when it comes to rerolling, but we'll have to see. But with all that said, let's go ahead and get into it. So global release is dropping tomorrow at the recording of today's video. So I want to make sure that you guys and gals are getting the strongest top reroll targets that you possibly can. They're going to help you succeed and progress as a free-to-play all the way up to a whale across the board in various types of content. With that said, there's a few different reroll routes that you can kind of take with choices in terms of units that you can build teams with. So we're going to go over some of those choices here in today's video, so bear with me. It could get a bit confusing. If you have to stop, pause the video, go back and check, take notes, whatever, do so at your own discretion because it'll definitely help you in the long run. All right, so one thing I want to get out of the way right now. One of the prized units in the entirety of the game for a long period of time is Green SSR Echo. In the PTR and SEA version of the game, she is behind a paywall. You have to pay $1 to get her, and then you have to buy a $5 pack, I believe. Then it's like a 10 or 15, 20 or 30, etc., to get enough copies of her to get her to at least 3-star when she becomes extremely powerful and useful long term. If that is going to still happen in global, she will not be a reroll target because obviously free-to-plays will not have access to her. So if that is the case, just want to throw a disclaimer out there. If that's still the case, she is not on the board as a reroll target. If she is in the banners, she will instantly become one of your top choices for a reroll target, and I will show you what she looks like in game so you know who to look out for just in case she is not paywalled. Okay, so this is for my free-to-plays out there. If you're a whale, you will definitely want to pick her up and buy her enough times to get her up to 3-star. It'll cost you anywhere between, I think, 50 to 60, 70 bucks, somewhere in that range if they didn't change any of the prices. That'll be for the whale players. That is definitely a reroll target if you are a whale. Okay? But if she's behind a paywall, free-to-plays, don't even worry about it. It's not a big deal. We have an alternative for her anyways. So I just want to get that out of the way. Now, let's go into the actual banner itself, because there's also another thing that we need to discuss. So, in regular summons, this is where we're going to be focusing mostly on our reroll. You should be getting 1 to 2 multis on day 1 in the first 15, 20 minutes, give or take, hopefully, to play around with when it comes to your rerolling, because you're going to get your pre-registration rewards, and then you're also going to be getting the daily login reward for the 300 summon event that they're going to hold on day 1 of global, which is a lot of fun. You're going to get basically a free multi almost every single day for like the first month. Very exciting. So we're going to be utilizing that in our reroll. So you're going to have about a multi or two to work with to try and get at least 2 units that you're going to need to start filling out your team and progress very efficiently because you're going to have a very strong start. So on the regular banner, they may change the name of regular banner to something different on global. I do know that wish summons are now called faded summons, but we're not worried about that. And then the rate up hero, no matter what the rate up hero will be, which I believe it's going to be Green Shiro. In this game, they call her white, but they're changing her name as they are a few other units. I believe it's going to be Green Shiro. We're not worried about her at all. We're going to do a pass or play, or I'm sorry, we're going to do a skip or summon or skip video on that as well. Spoiler alert, you can skip her. She's not necessary. But anyways, back to the regular banner. Go into the details because this is very, very important. The first SSR you may get, this is going to be very much included with your reroll process. This is very important. The first SSR that you get is a part of a very limited pool. Now keep in mind, when you do your first multi, you can get more than 1 SSR, but the first SSR that you get in this game when you do your reroll will be one of these units listed here. Secret Visitor Nofred, Tactical Submarine White, which will be renamed to Shiro, Sunset Radiance Yumpai, Ember in the Dark Danica, Forest Guardian Ashura, Teen Turn Sunny, Soul Lantern Key or Z or whatever you want to call that, Flying Embers Yunkin, and then Beauty Cutie Evelina in 1 False Note Arena. Now, of all those options, there's only 2 that I would even reroll for, based on that, and that is the Forest Guardian Ashura, which is green Ashura, and then blue Danica. Blue Danica is not better than Ashura. I want to make that very clear. However, Ashura is a unit that becomes extremely powerful mid to end game, and she will take a lot of investment to get her to that point. Early on, she will not be nearly as powerful as she is later down the road. Therefore, Danica might be a better and more logical option early on, because Danica is the opposite. She becomes weaker down the road, but she's extremely powerful in the early to mid game. And she's also a PvP meta for a bit of time because of the way her mechanics work, with allowing her to ult very quickly, and she does pretty decent single target damage. So, Danica is definitely going to be an option that you might want to, push out of that initial pool of characters for your first SSR, which will come at a 10% drop rate, by the way. Then after that, it goes to just your normal, everyday 2.2% SSR drop rates. So, if we did a 10 pull, and let's say our first summon is an SSR, it's going to be one of these units here listed, and then let's say you get another SSR at a 2.2% rate later in the same multi, it can then be any of the units that are available in the actual general pull banner, which will be any of these units listed that are on global. Now, of these general pull units that are not restricted, this is the girl that you want to get, Haley. Haley is going to be your AoE damage dealing queen. She has penetration damage. She scales the penetration damage, and you're also going to be grabbing a penetration set of gear and building it from Arena to put on her to make her basically your pound for pound best DPS for the foreseeable future, for probably at least a few months in the game. You're going to try and get more copies of her over time, star her up using the wish summons, etc., etc. You're going to do what you need to do to make her a powerhouse on your team. Green Echo is basically more or less the same hero, but slightly a bit better, but she's also behind a paywall, as we've talked about. If she's not behind a paywall, when she's in this banner instead of Haley, that's who you're going to aim for. So keep that in mind. That is the disclaimer and some of the information there and some of the added context. Hopefully I'm not confusing anyone. So just to quickly recap, your first SSR, you want to grab Danica over Ashura, even though Ashura is a better hero overall down the road. Danica is better for you right now. You can worry about getting your Ashura later on. That might be a controversial pick, but in my opinion, from playing this game long term and seeing kind of how hard it is to star up units and build units up, Danica is just a better, safer pick right now because she's going to be effective and useful immediately. Not to mention, it also is going to play into another aspect of the reroll process. So, in this game, you cannot run multiple characters that share the same name, even if they're different elements or different characters completely. If they have the same name, they cannot be played in the same team. And this is also another reason why Ashura is not going to be one of your reroll targets, even though she's one of the better units long-term in the game. So, if we go in here, we'll see Ashura. This is my girl, Ashura. She's already maxed out, 6-star, 70, all that good stuff and more. She's amazing. But she's going to be more mid-end game. Who we want to run instead of that Ashura is another Ashura, which is this one right here. You want to run Rebel Ashura for the immediate future. I'd say maybe all the way up to mid-game. And because we're running this Ashura, we cannot run the other Ashura because you cannot run both at the same time. And this one will be easier to star up because she's only a rare. You're going to get way more copies of her and be able to make her a 6-star. And getting her up to 6 stars is going to be very crucial because now she's going to be also able to be used as an assist hero later on until you get some better assist heroes. And what does assist heroes do? They basically take a percentage of their base stats, attack, HP, and defense, depending on what their star level is, and they give them to the unit they're attached to when you're making your team. And you can run 4 assist heroes per team because there's 4 heroes. That number goes up depending on the content because some content allows you to run 5 or more heroes, but you get the idea. So getting her to 6-star and using her effectively, basically day one and into the immediate future is going to be good for you because she has 2 abilities that allow you to give the debuff vulnerable, which can stack up to 10 times. And as long as you keep applying a vulnerable before 3 turns are up, those stacks will keep going up and up to 10, and they will not reset the cooldown. They will stay available for 3 turns. You put another one on, now they're all for 3 turns again. Put another one on, now they're all back up to 3 turns. So it's a really powerful, very exploitive vulnerable is amazing, because you're going to be able to stack up your damage up to 100% additional damage, and that's for your whole team. So whoever hits the enemies that have a vulnerable debuff are going to be getting additional damage dealt to them. That's going to be strong for world boss, for hard bosses in story mode and tower, etc., etc. And she's able to do that with 2 abilities, which you can see. I'm sorry, I clicked the wrong one. Which you can see right here. Vulnerable right here, vulnerable right here. So you're going to be running the free-to-play Rare Ashura on your team. You're going to be running the free-to-play Anya, which is going to be renamed Anja as well. This hero is one of the better supports in the entire game. You're going to be getting 3 copies of her for free. Maybe more, potentially, we'll have to see, but you're going to be getting at least 3 copies, which will get her up to 2-star. When you get her to 3-star, she becomes even more incredible and way powerful. So she'll be a unit they're going to be using on your core team for the long haul, okay? So you're going to be running Anya. You're going to be rerolling for Danica and Haley, okay? You're going to be running the free-to-play Ashura. There is your team. Congratulations, ladies and gentlemen. Your 4-man, woman, mixed gender squad is complete. You're ready to go. You've now beaten the game. You can now uninstall and quit. You've conquered all. I'm just kidding. You're just now powerful. You can go ahead and carry on throughout the game and clear a lot of content and have a lot of fun doing it. And then you can start mixing and matching other units and teams as we go along on the global release of the game. So hopefully I wasn't going through this too fast and confusing anybody. If you have to stop and go back and listen on anything I said, or if you have any additional questions or concerns, let me know in the comment section below. I have a dog in the background screaming. I gotta go let her out. That's why I'm trying to get through this quick. Real life sometimes gets in the way, guys. But anyways, here we are. Hope you all enjoyed. Don't forget to like, subscribe, tick notifications. Join us in the Discord in the description below as always. And of course, follow us on X at X's Media. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Until then, peace.